So this story is about so I'll read you this. This is a special paragraph. Dennis lives in a boring house in a boring street in a boring town. He's about to find out when you open your mind. Life becomes anything but boring. You laugh, you try, you want to be, and Dennis, he will live with you forever. This paragraph appears on chapter 15. So we'll get to that later. His mom had gone. His mom and dad was like not very good relationship. So they lived. Their mom lived in another country. And in chapter 3, if you read the other David Walliams books like Ratburger, Gangster Granny or Gangster Granny Strikes Again or Billionaire Boy, there is a newsagent called Raj. And then in chapter 3, the magazine, it was a magazine, and it's a book magazine, and then he said, what they ordered. The magazine is read by ladies and who was it? His teacher, his head, Mr. Howard, his headmaster. And then he said, take one. And then he said, take one. It was supposed to be £9, but I'll give you a special offer because you're my favorite person. So this is very silly. The special offer was £8.99, and it was only 1p account, 1p. Then his dad found the book magazine, and she was telling off that and that. And then in school, they played football with an old tennis school. And then Dennis kicked it towards the headmaster's window, and then headed it to the headmaster's window, which is a very good skill. Headed it, and it hit the headmaster, and then said, "Who kicked it?" But there was Then said, "I didn't kick it." So he also but he headed it. But his face was like forced to pick up their dog's doo-doo, which means poo. Okay, and then should I get you to add the highlight bit? Highlight part, and then I'll tell you the rest. So Dennis could speak French, and Dennis was in the dress and then he did himself to Lisa's French friend, and then said they had a little French talk. And then he was, and Miss Vincent, the teacher, was talking about SpongeBob SquarePants or something. Then she said, "Are we?" which means yes. And there's a little which I can't understand. And then she did something in the eye, and she did like this. Funny. A sneeze, but that was really long. It was 2 pages long, like that. And then his wig fell off, and then everyone laughed. And then it was so like this laugh. 1 page, 2 page, 3 page laugh. It was a 3 page laugh. And then he didn't have this, and he got fired. And then he was in football team, and then in the in front of Roger's shop. It's very funny part. In front of Roger's shop, his headmaster's sister, but it was not his sister. She had a moustache, so it's something suspicious about it. And then he said, "Hey." And then he said, "The boy in the dress." And they said, "The boy in the dress." And they laughed forever. Because his headmaster was pretending to be a girl, and she had a dress on. And then in the football match, where was it? Because we had no. They said they were in a football match, and then it was so they were doing Mortland Street versus Dennis's team. First, it was 4-0, and then 6-0, and then and then 6-1 because Dennis scored, and then 6-2, and then 6-3, and then 6-4, and then 6-6, and then 6. And his dad said, "That you won't kick my son." And she said, "Yeah." And they scored another goal for Dennis, and which gave it to 7-7. 6-7. The end.